Welcome back, dear friends. This time, I'd like to go on our series of Vulnhub. The virtual machine would be Ganana 1. I also put the link into the description section below so you can download. Before we start today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate your help and support. To save the time, I have already imported into the VirtualBox, which is very easy to do, I think so. And now I'd like to walk into the world of the virtual machine. And the IP address of the target or virtual machine has been identified as 163. And also I did the nmap scanning. From a map scanning result, as you can see over here, there's some, I think, 3 open ports. But as you can see, if you look at the port 22, normally this state will be open, but in this case, is closed. We must keep this in mind. And the first open port is 80, which runs HTTP, and the next one is 443, which runs HTTPS, and last one is 6777, which runs FTP. And the version information, as we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability we can exploit. But this target does allow us to anonymous log in. And later we need to check on this. And of course, the port number is very different from the standard port, which is 21. We must also take this into consideration. So now, what can we do? Next is to do some very basic enumeration for the port of FTP. And let's FTP specify the IP address is 163, and also we need to specify the port number, which is 6777. Yeah, I think it's right. And let's hit enter and anonymous, and leave the password field as blank. And we can list the content, but as you can see, although this target or FTP service allow us to anonymous login, but if we try to list the content of the directory, but it will time out, so we need to cancel or quit the FTP. Now the next port what we are going to do or enumerate is port 80. And I've already fired up our browser of Firefox and input the IP address into the address bar of the Firefox. And this page just shows us the content of the default page. And if we check the source code of the page, I think if you are familiar with the WordPress, you can know. I think this target is administered by the WordPress CMS. So if we can identify the target site as WordPress site, and then we need to do some WordPress scan by the WordPress scan and specify the URL and specify the IP address of the target and specify the option of E. And this option will try to enumerate usernames of the target and also vulnerable plugin. Okay, now as you can see from the result of the WordPress scan, no users found. and there's some plugin has been identified, but I can tell you I have already made the research through the search engine. Such plugin doesn't have any vulnerability. And also I tried to use the WordPress scan. Oh, sorry, I need, plugins, detection, mix. And I can tell you, although this command can give us more plugins, but all of the plugins which have been identified or enumerated by the WordPress scan that do not have vulnerability at all. So I'd like to interrupt this process. So what we can do, maybe we can do the directory enumeration, right? We can use the debuster http Okay, so the debuster will go through the process of directory enumeration. And also at the same time, while the debuster is doing the directory enumeration, we can head over to our browser and to see whether the target has robots file. Yeah, normally the WordPress always had the admin portal, and we can visit this portal. But this, when we visit the WordPress admin portal, it returned the status code of 404. So it's a bit weird, right? So maybe the author has made some security protection, has changed the default administrator's directory to other one. Yeah, the debuster has already identified some directories and also the files. Maybe at the same time we can use the Licto. You know, we always use several directory enumeration tools. So this way we'll not miss any useful information, right? As you can see, debuster 2 has identified one directory. This is very not normal for the WordPress installation, and we can try to visit this directory, tasks. Yeah, it says, hi, Jeremy, do manage the office as admin is away for a few weeks. Admin has created another temp account for you and details in a pickup.ng file. So I think the username must be this one. But what about the password? Yeah, as you can see, Licto has a very important discovery. What the Licto has done or has given us. The first one is PHP admin, which can manage the database, the background database, and also the secret. And we can visit the secret. You know, this secret may mean something interesting. So as you can see, this secret directory is actually the administrator's portal, and we can try the normal or weak credentials, admin, login. And it says 2 attempts left. I hate brute force. So it means that we cannot use the brute force a cracking way to get the password and the username. And so what can we do? Maybe we from this file, from the sorry, I needed to visit this file, this directory, excuse me. So this may be the username, and the another important hint would be the target maybe have this file, but we don't know the name. We just know the extension of the file. So we just make the guess. The file name maybe has something that has relation to the username. So maybe this pickup file, the name is Jared, and the extension is pickup.ng. Yeah, it's indeed it does exist. So we can move the pickup file to our working directory, and we can use the Wireshark to open up this file. So yeah, there are a lot of packets. Yeah, some of them is encrypted by the TLS, but others not, like this one. So what we can do is to find the password, right? The password. The most interesting thing or information is the credentials. So maybe we can find this one, and we can the string and the details, and we can try to visit the password. Yeah, maybe this one we can follow. And let's look at the details of this session. But nothing found. Interesting. So it doesn't have any password. Yeah, the password. So maybe we can go to the next one. Maybe this one. No. Maybe this one. Yeah, we can follow. No. So maybe we can, of course, we can go back to our browser and try to, for example, like admin and the password, and we can get the packet, the post, and request. So I think we need to find the string of the PWD, right? Not a password. And we can go back to the Wireshark, and here we needed to find the so we need to find a lot of packets. Maybe this one. Follow. So as you can see here, has one. I think this is username and the password, and we need to copy and we can make note of the password and also the username. Now we have already got the username and password, and we can log in. We can copy and copy the password, log in. We can close the developer too. But although we have successfully logged in as Jared, but from the functions, as you can see over here, this is not a super administrator. So we can have a look. Yeah, here there is one post, keep this secret. And there's some information we need to copy. Maybe this message is encoded. And we can echo. Yeah, here maybe is a password. We can make a note of this one. And this password maybe is the password is used for the PHP admin, as we have already emulated just now. We can PHP admin, and the username is Jared, generally the same username, and password we use this one. Yeah, we successfully log in to the PHP myadmin, and there is one database is Bitnami WordPress, and so we can go to the table of users table, and there's two users. This one is Jared Lee, and another one is maybe this one is has more privileges because the order, we can know this from the order of the usernames. So maybe we can modify the user password field by this one, because we have already know the password for the Jared Lee, and we can edit and we can copy this one and go back to this table, and we can edit this one. We can change or replace, and we can go. Now we have already updated the password for another user, and this username is this one. We can copy the username, and we can make note on our why we can copy, and then we can go back to our WordPress administrator's portal, and now we can go back to we need to log out, and the username is this one, a bit long, so we do not need to type, we just make a copy. And the password, because the password is, we have already updated the password to the one which is the same as the Jared Lee, and so we can copy and then log in. Remind me later. So we successfully log in as another user, and from the functions of this portal, this user must be the administrators. So of course the next step, what we'll be going to do is to get the shell. Normally, after we can log in the administrators portal, and then we can try to upload the shell code onto the target. But before we do that, we can copy from my toolsets directory, and of course we need to do some modifications. change it to my Kali Linux. And the port number is the 555. Okay, right, and quit. Excuse me. And now we can go back to our the portal, and now we can go to the appearance section, and then go to the sim editor, and we located the 404 template file, and we can remove all content of this file. And we can copy. Oh, sorry. We can, sorry, not a copy, it's cat. And we can make a whole copy of this code. And then paste in here. Okay, and now we can update the file. Of course, so we have already replaced or updated the 404 template file, and then we can, of course, set up the listener first. And what we are going to do next is to find the location of the file. 404 PHP. It will be very easy if we go back to the source code of the default or home page. We can copy this part, and we can just make note of here, so we can open up another tab and hit enter. Now we have already got the shell, and we can make this interactive. Python 2 doesn't exist. Python 3. Okay, now we are in the normal shell, and we can go to the home directory and do the basic immersion. So what can we do? I think we have already known from the home directory, the user name is Jared. So maybe the WordPress has the user of Jared Lee, and maybe this user also uses the same password. Okay, we can try this Jared Lee. Okay, now we are switch our shell to the user Jared Lee, and we can list the content, and there is one file backups. We can cut the backup, and this, of course, this may be encoded. We can copy and open up another working directory, and we can okay, this one, I think this is the password for another user, Jevon. Although in this home directory doesn't have there has only one user, but if we can cut the content of the password file, there is another user, Jevon, and also the John. And what we can do is we can Jevon, and we can copy this line and paste it in here, and we can use the John the Ripper word list. Of course, because I have already done before, so the John the Ripper has the cached passwords, we can use the show command to show the correct password. So this is the password, and we can make a copy, and we can go switch to another user Jevon, and the password. Okay, now we have already logged in as Jevon, and we can go to the, we can make as you can see, the ID, the Docker, the user Jevon is the member of Docker group. Of course, we can utilize this membership to elevate our privilege, and we can use Docker command. Docker images, and there is one image, the name is Alpine, and we can use the Docker run it and specify the volume mapping root to the MNT, and specify the name of the image, Alpine. Okay, and we can go to the M directory, and we got the root flag. So we successfully completed this virtual machine and retrieved the root flag. Okay, that's all I'd like to demonstrate in this video. If you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.